So I got started in the music industry because of Eric. Eric was always singing in church, in the choir, uh, and he was in these groups, and the groups just never worked out for him. But he always could sing like really good. So, one day I approached him and was like, "Yo, my thing is kind of going well in life, and I think I know how to get from point A to point B. Should let me help you." And at that time, he said no. He was like, "Nah, I want to like stick it out with the group." And then I don't know. 3 years later, he was like, "Yo, let's do it," and then it started, 2010. And it wasn't even like we weren't making money at first, but I don't know, something about it. I just loved the thrill of like having people listen to the songs and be receptive, and like the little wins, like they were like piling up, and I was like really in love with those wins. And then I don't know. For me, it's just like it didn't take E that long. But when I hear other people's stories, I'm like, man, I don't know if I would have hung in there for like 6 years or 10 years. I don't think we had that long. We started writing songs. So, you know, getting those placements on big artists didn't take us long at all. Maybe like 3 to 6 months, like getting like our first placement, like actually writing songs. And then like within the first year, he was writing for Chris Brown and Usher. It didn't take that long, but the artistry, like if you say like, well, how long did it take to break him as an artist? It took like 2.5 years, 3 years. But the writing was like immediate. It was like, it takes that long. I think advice that I would give to like an artist or a manager or like both is, I mean, if you're going to, as the artist, if you're going to accept and give your manager like the opportunity to work, you need to do that. Like you need to like give them the opportunity to like give you ideas and be receptive to listening. And if you don't trust your manager in that way, then you might need to, that might not be the guy for you. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Like if you're the manager and the artist that you're working with is just not being receptive to the ideas, then that might not be the artist for you. So I mean, and I think that artist and manager relationships are like marriages. Like you talk to this person every day, and it's about everything. It's about like what clothes they wearing, how you feeling, health. It gets to be much more than just business. It becomes personal very quickly, especially nowadays in the way that like life is so transparent now. You have like all these social media outlets where it's like, yeah, like who you're dating is important now, why, the breakup, are you pregnant, you married, like what the guy likes to eat, what kind of car, like all of these things like have to do with your career now. So, this is like somebody that you have to be very comfortable with, in a sense to where like they almost have to be like your best friend. I don't even understand how it could work without you like being really close to this person. Obstacles that we've had on our journey. Eric started as a songwriter. And so this was something that I learned along the way, is that I think as a consumer, you don't know that there are people writing songs for artists, and they call them songwriters. So Eric starting off as a songwriter, but when he started to sing his own songs and become an artist, it was hard to get people to respect him as an artist because he was such a known songwriter. So that was a very tough obstacle to overcome, because we know, like, at the rate that we were going, we were working with the best producers and the best writers and the best artists. So when Eric is, you know, going in and doing songs for himself with producers and other songwriters, it was like Eric would be like, yo, check out my new song. And they would be like, oh, we should get that to Chris Brown. And it's like, nah, this is my song. You know what I mean? Like, what about me? And we dealt with that for like a year straight where, you know, and we had to kind of learn that, like, okay, we got to scale back on producer and songwriters, because the bigger producers and the bigger songwriters, they didn't believe in Eric as an artist yet. So they were like into making money with their music, and you know, of course they're supposed to, but you know, like, there are like hungry people, like hungry producers and writers that they just trying to get known. So they know that, okay, I got to give a couple beats away and I'm gonna write a couple songs I'm probably not gonna get paid on. And that's what we had to learn, was like, yo, we need to work with those people, you know, because we was going in right off the bat. We trying to get beats from Boy Wonder, Poppin' Oak, like, you know what I mean, Diplo, and we were like really thinking that we could, because we really thought we was friends though. Like, we'd be in the studio with these guys like 7 days in a row, 2 weeks in a row. So at the end of it, it's like, yo, you know, and I'm a businessman, so I'm thinking about it like, yo, like, I just wrote a song for you that is on Bieber album, you know what I'm saying? Like, you made money with us. Like, I feel like you should do this. But, you know, they didn't look at it that way, and I get it now. So that was a big obstacle for us. And then, I mean, just being an artist in general, like, and just understanding from behind the scenes what it takes to break is a whole obstacle in its own. Like, understanding like what's really going on instead of like what you see, you know, because you think it's just like this thing that it just happens, but it's so much more to it. But, you know, but I mean, just looking at other people's careers, like, I think we kind of like learn super quick. This is Nieman Johnson, and you checked in with My Last Hustle.
Before you got my text, you knew tonight would be the night. Before you made your bed.